Dave, tell us about your feelings when you got the 100. It seemed like a sort of understated reaction, and obviously now you're the captain, you've got a lot more on your shoulders. But what did that 100 mean to you, particularly given you failed to reach 20 earlier in the series?
Yeah, look, for me, when I was out there, it was about obviously trying to get the runs and try and be there at the end, and that's the way that I had to try and play tonight. It's obviously great to get 100, but for me, it was a bit of a sigh of relief. I never doubt myself, and I haven't doubted myself, and I've kept backing my plans and executing my plans. And you do need a bit of luck in this game, and I'm pretty sure I did hit that one to short leg tonight. But that's part and parcel of this game. You get a bit of luck your way, and fortunate enough tonight, I got that luck.
So you, in your first 59 balls, you hit one boundary. You couldn't play the international innings where your pace was moderately slow in terms of boundary score. Just talk us through your mindset of basically playing yourself back into form. It was like out there in pretty tough conditions again.
Yeah, it was. It's almost like going back to the test matches and trying to really grind, but still try and rotate the strike. Me and Bales were actually out there. We had a drink, and we're actually saying to each other that we feel like we're going to try and play that big shot, and we kept on telling each other to try and think about just rotating the strike, because you always want that sense of release somewhere, because it just wasn't really they weren't giving us any bad balls to put away. So we just had to try and grind away and use sort of a bit of pace that they used on the ball, and tried to reverse sweep and sweep as much as we can. That was the game plan that we had to try and manufacture, and it is quite handy sometimes when you don't have that rhythm, or you're not hitting the ball at the middle, to be able to play that kind of role in that innings. It does help.
Then, apart from the colour of the ball and the fact that you haven't got catches crowded around the bat, what has been sort of difference between the way the one-day series has panned out to the tests? So completely different results, obviously, but in pretty similar conditions. Yeah,
good question. If I'm speaking from my own personal experience, I think it comes down to runs on the board and a bit of pressure. We all talk about taking the game on, and in these conditions, you still have to look to score. I think when we're at home on our home wickets, we always have that intent to look to score. And I think that's when our boys are playing at our best. And I think, if you face 6 balls in these conditions, one's going to have your name on it. So in these conditions, you're going to have to sweep. You're going to have to use your feet. You're going to have to probably watch the ball hard onto the bat, where you can't leave the ball, because that one's going to skid on, and they're the variables in this game. And I think that's probably where we lacked a little bit. We really didn't adapt fast enough. And I think you see here in the one-day game, you can sort of get that little bit of a release, because you can't have those catches around the bat. You can, but white ball seems that we can play these kind of shots. There's no reason why you can't play it in the test matches. You saw Voji play. I played some of them. That's how you're going to have to score in these conditions.
Just further to some of the guys who have shown form over here, and I presumably you've taken a bit of confidence yourself out of tonight, so I'm looking ahead to the Indian tour. But do you think George has really sort of put his hat in the ring to be a contender back in the test?
Look, he's played fantastic. He's played unbelievable cricket. In the subcontinent, I think he's averaging almost 70 now. He's been a fantastic player in these conditions for a while now. And as I've said in the previous conference, I'm not here to put names up for selection. That's the selector's job, and that's why I love doing what I do, playing the game, because they have to make those hard choices. They're going to have to back themselves as well and go with their gut to work with Steve and obviously the other selectors to pick the right team come February.
Similar theme to the question I asked the other night. You seem to have a lot of, maybe not luck, but good fortune when bringing bowlers on today and taking wickets straight away for 5 times. And that must feel pretty good as the captain when you're out there. The momentum you were sort of creating out in the field today from wickets as you make those changes. Yeah, it does make you feel good in a way. And I don't know if you guys watching the same game as myself, but I felt like we're playing great cricket, to be honest. The bowlers, they didn't switch on the first 10. They probably lacked a little bit of energy and intent. They know that, but still restricted them to 195. It's a fantastic effort on these wickets, and they've been very, very good, this series, and they got to take credit for that. They've played exceptional. They've done everything that I've asked. I've given them the responsibility of changing their field and bowling to the fields that they want, and they've reacted to that.
But lucky enough for tonight, I think we got away with a lot. They look like they're getting off to a good start. And then as we know on these wickets, a bit of momentum can change and swing in your favour. And fortunate enough that did happen.
And just one more. Travis said that when he picked up Kusal Pereira, it was like he smashed it. What's your thoughts on technology not being used, or rather not being funded for some tours but being funded for others? Is it annoying as a cricketer knowing that in some countries you'll get the full suite of DRS, and in others, that could be you running out there and smashing it and giving it yourself,
So you hit that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, to me, I think I read an article the other day. I think the Indian team released an article about the DRS, and look, it has to be 100% accurate in every country that you're playing. Yes. When you don't have hotspot and you don't have Snicko, I think they're two crucial ones, especially with those decisions and the court behinds. It makes a massive difference. But at the end of the day, it comes to affordability, and that's upon, I think, the association. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have the answer for you, but as a player, you would love every bit of technology that they've got there to use in every single game to be consistent enough.
Last one, Cal, or the last two, Rainbow Cal.
Just the lack of that technology probably did save you tonight, as you mentioned earlier. What goes through your mind, when that appeal is taken?
Yeah, it was a semi-half appeal. I honestly, I spoke to the keeper probably an hour later, and I said to him, he came up to me, the bowler, and said, "You're lucky you hit that one." And I said, "Yeah, I think I did. I wasn't 100%." And the keeper thought I didn't hit it, but I think it was a faint edge. I think it might have hit the edge. But as you know, that's the luck. But the responsibility is on the players as well. They've got to make that decision to either use the referral or not. They still had it up their sleeve.
Just on that, the bowling changes that all worked. Some of them, like Travis said, bowled to the two left-handers. Is that in team planning, or how much of it is instinctive for you as a captain to kind of sense there's a moment in the game that you need to bring someone back in or tackle it a certain way?
Yeah, generally with the left-handers, we tend to probably go with Starkey a little bit, with the breeze as well, and more the tail in. But I find that a couple of their players, like to sort of come after the ball a little bit. With the ball turning away, you're always in the game, especially with the one going on as well. And I felt that Trav bowled well last game as well, and I thought, I might as well bring him on and see if I can jag a wicket. And fortunate enough, again, it happened.
So a lot of those punches for you? Or?
Yeah, it is, and you've got Heady and you've got Zams who are playing those spin rolls, and it's always good to have that variation of leg spin and off spin, because you can throw it in at any time. And I've seen captains use it in the past. If a left-hander's facing, they might throw the offie on to try and put two dot balls on and try and bring that big shot. And I felt with them losing a couple of wickets, it'll be quite risky for them to either sweep or take the game on. So I think that's probably the reason why I did it.